Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for The Flash, which is the second part of our wonderful, humongous DC crossover. Now, sorry, this review is a couple hours late. I had a family thing, so I was not able to do it on time. But hey, it's the day of, so let's get started. So with this episode, finally we get to see our heroes come together. So Supergirl, I know some people thought it was misleading because that was the official part one, but I see it as a comic book format. I felt like it was very comic booky the way they did it, that Supergirl was the first part, but really this is where you get into the meat of it. And I love they actually showed the Supergirl scene from that episode in this episode. And it brought that comic book vibe that I really enjoy of crossovers. And with this episode, we learned a little bit more about the Invaders, which was a complaint I had with Supergirl, that I'm like, oh, it feels like there's something missing, and I still do believe that Flash maybe should have aired first or something. There still feels like there's missing pieces in the first part, but we do get an explanation of who they are, and we get to see, maybe not their motives, but what the team is up against, what type of power set do they have. So it's Barry bringing all these characters or all these heroes together. So obviously Oliver is brought to the team, so he brings his crew, where Thea's like, I'll do it, I want to fight aliens. So you have the original Team Arrow going into the spotlight here, and then you have Oliver saying, hey, I could get Sarah, I could get Ray, they could come and help out too. And then Barry brings Supergirl and his team, which Caitlin's pretty much on the sidelines for this episode though, because she still doesn't really know what to do with her powers. And then it's Wally really wanting to help out, and by the end he's able to. So yeah, we get to see this episode, half of our team are they're manipulated or being under mind control of our invaders. So it's Barry and Oliver versus everybody else, and Felicity and Cisco trying to figure out at the home beacon what to do, and that's when Wally comes to the rescue, at least trying to help Barry. Doesn't quite do as much as he, that defeats the enemy, but he's still a new hero, and he is able to help Oliver and Barry a little bit. And then the ending, the cliffhanger, is that pretty much all our Arrow characters were kidnapped, and now the aliens have them, and that's going to go into the 100th episode, which is going to be a new reality, which kind of fits the theme of this episode, which is so much focused on Barry and Flashpoint and how that has affected other people. So in time travel in general, which is interesting because you are getting to see these characters from other Earths, other times coming together, and a big one obviously Supergirl being from another Earth, and then the Legends of Tomorrow, which their whole entire show is about. We can change time, and especially for Sarah, I could change time, but I couldn't save my sister. So there's a lot of interesting character interactions we wouldn't usually have, and not just because, hey, there's all these superheroes here, but they intertwine all these awesome stories going on in Arrow, Flash, and Legends, and making it, again, well weaved in this episode, which I really liked. I thought, at first I'm like, oh, do we really need Wally's story here? Do we need Martin's story here? But in the end, it all does weave together. With Martin's story, we do find out, if you've been watching Legends, that is his daughter. We still don't know if he still has the same wife or not, but he can't even fathom what's going on there. And even with Caitlin, her story of being Killer Frost, it's not a huge part of the story, but, Martin's able to talk to her and say, hey, why is it a problem that you have these powers? And also, I guess, really just seeing the scope of, look at all these superheroes teaming up, but Caitlin being on the sidelines. Will that affect her storyline of trying to be a better person? So I really liked the way that we've done that. And like I already said with Wally, I thought they did a really good job with his story. And at first I'm like, do we need him? But it shows his relationship with Joe and Iris, but that he went in to save Barry. So that was great. And yeah, Thea, being Speedy again. Once again, I would love to see her as Speedy on the show. I think this episode proved how much we've been missing her in Arrow. It just had a different vibe, and it was just great seeing these veteran heroes coming together, because a lot of the other heroes that are newer, even Wally, you know, the Legends newer characters and the Arrow newer characters weren't here. We had the real veteran superheroes coming together, which was so cool, especially because Star Labs looked like the Hall of Justice, and now I'm just saying, yeah, Thea Speedy is definitely a member of the Justice League now, original member, so that's something that's cool that you could totally overanalyze. But all these characters, Heatwave, you can now call, I feel, a member of the Justice League if you look at it that way. But what was so great about this episode is the interactions with the heroes. It was so cool seeing Supergirl meet everybody and how some of these personalities butt heads. Like, of course, Heatwave wanting to call Supergirl Skirt, I thought was amazing. But then even characters who just want to be friends. You could tell that Thea wanted to be friends with Supergirl. Sarah might have a little crush on Supergirl. And then Oliver being hard on Supergirl. A lot of interactions with Supergirl because she was very much the catalyst of the episode. And one thing I have to applaud with this episode that I thought the last crossover fumbled is trying to fit all the characters in these episodes. With Flash and Arrow, last season there are some needless stories going on that didn't weave well, and then not all the characters were able to really interact with each other, especially Iris, and I feel the writers really heard what the fans had to say, and I felt every character had a moment to shine. It really told their stories. I mean, Diggle, you also got to see his reaction to having a daughter, which I'm so happy that they mentioned that because I'm still upset that they had to erase his child from, from the timeline, but it shows the aftermath of what happens with Barry, and we'll see what mind frame Barry will be in after this invasion. But yeah, I thought this was a really great technical first part of the crossover, because yeah, Supergirl wasn't really the first part. I feel like this is the true meat of the crossover here, and very excited to watch Arrow and seeing how our main Arrow characters deal with this new timeline and what surprises we get. And I am curious how the Legends episode's gonna take this and roll with it, because I felt like with this episode it didn't just feel like a Flash episode. It really did feel like Legends had a little of their vibe to it. Arrow had his vibe. Supergirl probably a little less because she was the only character from the story, but it looks like maybe we'll get Martian Manhunter or something in the future, because I know he was on the poster. But that might just be because he was in the first part of the episode. But yeah, I would say at least Legends, Flash, and Arrow really brought all their vibes together into one show. And I guess Supergirl's personality brought in the vibe of the Supergirl television show. So like I said, really well done first part for the crossover. I will be reviewing Arrow on time tomorrow. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there are links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later. Bye.